just like politics, all news is local, and that's certainly the case on Idaho Matters, the weekday public affairs podcast from Boise State Public Radio. Listen today to hear about events and issues that impact Idahoans. Search Idaho Matters wherever you get your podcasts.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. On today's episode, we have a story that I've heard a bit about, and I'm anxious to hear more. So joining me this morning is our reporter, Jackson Holmes. Hi, Jackson.
Good morning.
This story takes place in a location that many of us are familiar with, but this story, my guess is, very few of us are familiar. The Treasure Valley YMCA.
Yes.
And you work there.
I do, yes.
Tell me about that. You work primarily in or around the pool?
Yeah, so my official title is Senior Swim Lesson Instructor, so I help both teach swim lessons and then also organize swim lessons, plan swim lessons, get people enrolled, stuff like that.
Your story that you're bringing us today is about a very particular lesson and a group of folks in this lesson, yes?
Yes. So we offer swim lessons to women in the refugee community in Boise who would otherwise not be able to learn to swim due to modesty restrictions or just overall comfort in water. So they need a little bit more help and one-on-one support. And that is something that is not currently offered anywhere else in the Treasure Valley.
So talk to me, and I guess we're going to learn a little bit more in the coming minutes, but talk to me a little bit about those restrictions. So can I assume there's no men in this class?
Yes. So we have one class. We have two classes. So one runs off hours. So the Y is completely closed.
Oh, wow.
There's no men in the facility. We close windows, doors, anything like that so that they do not risk any perception of men. And then we have another class that is just in a pool by its own. The Y is still open, but we make it a priority to move them away from any men that make them feel uncomfortable or any specific setting that would make them uncomfortable.
Well, let's give it a listen.
Good. Face all the way in the water. Good. I'm in the 4-foot pool, practicing front floats with a man who is wearing a light blue bikini, modest swimwear designed for Muslim women. The YMCA is closed to everyone except a man and 10 other women learning to swim. You can float by yourself.
I feel every person should learn this skill because it's a life-saving.
That's really good progress, especially for the first time being in the water without a life jacket. A man who asked only to use her first name is from Syria. She resettled in Idaho 8 years ago with her 2 kids. The Syrian civil war began in 2011 and created the biggest refugee crisis in the world. The Mediterranean Sea is a common escape route from Syria, but it is incredibly dangerous. In 2023, over 3,100 people died attempting to cross.
Actually, I lost my husband in the water, so it's very important for me and my kids to teach and learn swim.
Many Muslim women never learn to swim. It can be difficult to move through the water in the modest clothing worn for their religion. Some say they feel self-conscious swimming in public, which is why the West Y welcomes these women after hours. I teach with another female instructor on Sundays, and another team comes for the second session on Mondays. The small group of Muslim women spends about an hour in the pool. Some are learning to swim, others building on skills they learned earlier in life. These women come from different places, but share a common goal: to learn how to move in and be safe around water.
We have the Boise River and we have Lucky Peak, and there are places that they can go swimming with their families.
Cece Lucarelli, the program coordinator for the West Boise YMCA, says she was eager to offer that space.
Iman, I might need your help translating here, because this one's kind of confusing. When you roll from your front to your back, you need to keep blowing the bubbles all the way out of your nose, okay?
These refugee lessons started in July, when the Y was contacted by a woman identifying herself as a friend of the Afghan community in Boise. She said many women were interested in swimming, and her biggest priority was to create a program that respects modesty restrictions, works through language barriers, and recognizes trauma.
They need to learn not only how to swim themselves, but also how to be safe around the water, and providing them some necessary rescue options as well for their kids or their families.
Good. Remember to blow those bubbles out of your nose.
Hind moved from Iraq to Idaho nearly 10 years ago. She's wearing a pink zip-up jacket and matching leggings. She began these lessons unable to put her head underwater.
Do you want to see? Okay, let's try. But just that you know, I am not that expert.
Now, Hind can swim 15 yards on her back.
It's good to have this opportunity because no one is given this opportunity. I've been here more than 10 years. No one ever offered this opportunity, like taking a class for swimming and learn.
Hind lives in Idaho with her husband, 2 teenage sons, and young daughter. USA Swimming found that only 13% of children in the United States whose parents cannot swim learn to swim themselves.
I have like one daughter, she is like almost 5 years old.
Hind is frustrated she has never learned this skill. She knows how important swimming is, but had never found a place where she felt comfortable. Hind has made it a priority for her daughter to take swim lessons too.
How can she take the lessons without her mom is being with her at the pool, and I don't know ever how can I swim? And all the activity here is going to the lake, swimming, go to the river. I don't know anything about that.
Hind says the Y is different. There are 2 different classes to choose from, one during operating hours and one not. It all depends on the comfort level of the participant. They specifically offered this and gave staff support. She feels safe here. She and several of her classmates aren't in swimsuits or even burkinis to cover their head. Instead, they wear leggings, an athletic jacket, and scarf. Hind says it's obvious they are different from other swimmers at the Y.
I remember what's the hardest part. I am wearing a scarf, and it's maybe hard to be at the swimming pool as a woman, as a Muslim. And then something else that I feel like, little bit shy when I come to the pool, and then I uncover all my bodies. And then I want people to be used to know, okay, we'll come, and this is what I am wearing.
Iman learned some of her skills from her kids, who began swimming at the Y 8 years ago. Her children now compete on a swim team.
That's how we started, and they started getting comfortable with the water. And then each one of them finished the 6 courses that YMCA offers. It was so wonderful.
Iman has just mastered her elementary backstroke. New swimmers come join the classes every week, and the sessions are scheduled indefinitely.
I felt like I'm out of breath just remembering what happened. But by time it gets better.
Jackson Holmes joins us in studio again. How long have you been teaching at the Y?
I've been teaching at the Y since 2022. Mm-hmm. We started these lessons in late July, so we've been doing it a couple months now.
Can I assume that a number of the women have seen success in their swimming skills?
Absolutely. Like you heard in the story, Iman and Hind are both 2 women that have made immense success. Both of them came into these lessons feeling timid and scared of the water due to various trauma or just history with water, lack of experience. And now both of them are swimming very proficiently.
Can I also assume that this class will succeed now on word of mouth, as some of the participants tell other folks who may have been reticent before?
Yeah, I mean, what's really beautiful about this class is it's built on word of mouth.
Yeah.
It is no particular organization. It's just a group of women who are all friends with each other and all want to learn how to swim.
Jackson Holmes, thanks for bringing us the story.
Thank you.
No matter what happens in Washington, the NPR Politics Podcast is here for you. For the latest news, insights, and analysis from the election and beyond, listen to the NPR Politics Podcast.